Right. Now, journeys are very personal, and but they are, at the same time, they are also shared. And my search for purpose has been one big search party. Right. It's really about doing life together. And in fact, this evening is one such party, and where we can do life together. Now, over the May Day weekend, just about 12 days ago, we had an art and stories woven exhibition entitled Sama Sama, or Same Same, right? That took place in a workers' dormitory. And the artist here, Kelvin, he did an installation art, right? And it was all these hundreds and thousands of kuti molded and melted together into some 51 incredibly powerful vessels, right? Just artworks of art. And this is one of the recent initiatives that HealthServe sort of partnered with individuals, right, to give hope and encouragement to migrant workers to pursue their dreams. And that evening, and in fact tonight, this evening, seeing so many of us here with different colors, different clothes, different stories, all unique in itself, with different gifts and talents, it really reminded me of the Kuti exhibition we had 2 weeks ago. So I'm really excited that we can come together, find and search for our own purposes together, right? And to see how we all fit into a larger collective purpose. All right, that will be one of the aims for tonight. And I think it's going to be very exciting. Well, I feel that I live quite a purposeful life now. I must say that I didn't really get here. I mean, it wasn't that easy a road. It was quite bumpy. In fact, very bumpy along the way. So, but don't be discouraged. If you're still searching for that elusive thing called purpose, right? Don't worry, okay? And if you keep a spirit of learning, always wanting to learn and not stop trying, and to learn with people around you, they will help us keep on track in our life's mission, right? Whatever that may look like for you. So my journey, I was quite regular. I mean, I was a good guy, good boy. I come from a middle class family. I went to a great school where my friends all come from very, very diverse backgrounds, all kinds of people, right? And my profession as a doctor is predictable. And I actually always wanted to be a doctor since I was young. In fact, as a kid, right, my GP was like an inspiration to me. In fact, I quite enjoyed falling sick and taking medicine. And I found going to a GP quite fascinating, right? Now, getting into medical school involves a much dreaded interview. Now, so as you can guess, at a medical school interview, right, when the interviewer asks you, so why you want to do medicine and what's your life purpose, right? Most of us, in fact, I was influenced. I'm one of them. I say, hey, I want to help the poor. I want to do good. I want to contribute to society, to humankind. I mean, all the good things I had to say. So as a student, I had always assumed that my purpose and motives would be altruistic and honorable. But I soon realized that it was a lot harder than I imagined, right? Now, that's to stay altruistic and honorable, right? My first paycheck came, and then subsequent ones, all these, I didn't know, but they had an influence, a very strong influence, which I didn't really realize and I didn't pay attention to. So soon I got myself a car after a couple of paychecks, Then a couple of years later I got a house and went for a couple of nice holidays. And money gives you such freedom, right? But thank God, life in the fast lane was soon stopped in its tracks. Now, what happened? One fine day in 1995, I was invited to Mongolia. Right? A friend of mine, in a passing remark, not seriously, he asked me if I could help him do the annual physical checkup for some NGOs in Mongolia. Right? And after all, it'd be a nice change. Oh, sounds exotic, right, Mongolia. Right? Now, there I was thrust into the NGO world. Right? It was a whole brand new world for me. Now, meeting volunteers who risk their lives, their careers, for a clear sense of purpose in their search, that was what turned on the lights for me. I remember a young German couple with a 3-month-old baby who traveled literally 100 miles to see me to get their annual physical checkup. And they lived in this yurt, right, without running water or electricity. And they were out in the rural, assisting in animal husbandry and agriculture. And I was just amazed. And I was confronted not just with this story, but many others, right? And for a while, with all these stories coming in, I just could not take this away. I cannot ignore it anymore now that I knew, right? I was forced to respond and reflect on my own life, and that really changed me. Now, interestingly then, the NGOs at that particular place in Ulaanbaatar, they were collaborating together, right, in various projects. And I found myself being a part of it because I was a doctor there. And, and I attended the evening gatherings, and that actually included barbecue on a frozen river, Barbecue on frozen river, that's quite cool, right? Don't you think so? Right? So life and community are all done in collaboration and partnership. And since then, with my exposure to the NGO, to the collaboration and partnership, that I always assume then partnership and collaboration is the norm. Now, a year after my Mongolia experience or initiation, I was introduced to India, where I was just thrown headlong into poverty, into gross injustices and corruption at a level that I never saw in my life. And for those of you who have been to India, it's quite shocking. That was about 15 years ago. And I met people from different castes, people from vastly different backgrounds, different social status, and all of them wondering at the complexities of life and all the injustices that came along with it. And I began to seriously wonder, so what did I really mean when I answered the panel of interviewers at my medical school interview, right? I mean, life can't be just about all of what I can get and all that I can possess. And it cannot even be purporting to contribute to help NGOs or good friends like Leong, right? There's a deeper question that lurked. Is there room for service in my life to others? Or is it just for me, myself, my identity, my family needs? And all this in a world that places such emphasis on success, right? And our career and our concern for career constantly making us deaf and sometimes numb to our real vocation and the real world and to our role in society, or larger society. And then I thought maybe I should start changing professionalism to genuine service, and really my search party had begun. I realized along the way that many of my friends were really amazing, right? I met all these people serving the vulnerable in society, and you know something? They all seem to have a more purposeful life than I, right? And very fulfilling besides. And I also learned that we need each other along the way. And for the first time, I felt that I was really growing. In Hyderabad, India, I worked with a international group and some international medical folks, and we reached out to desperately poor communities there. And the surprising lesson I learned from these desperately poor communities was that sense of honor they had for each other, right? Their family ties, the mutual caring for each other. And something that I think you and I deeply yearn for in modern Singapore. We are so individual here, right? And yet, this I know came also with some bizarre things that I learned and extreme views. For example, extreme views on honor, like honor killings and or vast amounts of money needed to pay for dowries in India. Out of India, I founded Linking Hands, a web-based agency which links global partnerships in medical missions. And so very quickly, my worldview deepened, and then my life became, very organic, all right, wonderfully organic and fluid. Friends, neighbors, both global and local, then enriched my life through this network and community. And so this community experience became the way I was to contextualize and express my own service. So mutuality and respect, creativity and sensitivity, generosity and compassion were slowly changing me. Now, so searching for purpose need not be done alone, right? I could have a search party with me. And this has been really very enjoyable. So the next thing I learned on my journey was that all the humanitarian services that I started doing didn't really have to, begin so far away like in Mongolia, right? While I had this sort of heart for the nations as well, I didn't really have to travel around the world to help all these people in need. From Mongolia to India, the opportunities that answered my search for purpose started coming closer and closer. Until, obviously, then came right to my doorstep, Singapore, back home. Now, one person who had been a quiet but influential member in my search party is this guy called Simon Mahendran, Dr. Simon Mahendran, a dentist. I met Simon about some 15 years ago at the International Medical Conference, and I found out that he set up a medical clinic in Little India, right? Now, while practicing dentistry in Little India, he had seen the need to bridge the gap, pun intended, right, in the medical services for low-wage migrant workers. No, so he set up a medical clinic called Karunia Community Clinic, and that was 16 years ago. But, being a dentist, right, unfortunately, he did not have all his friends who are medical doctors, right? And so he was really struggling to get volunteers. And so I met him, I said, maybe I better help him, since I'm medical. So soon I had medical personnel through the Linking Hands Network beef up the migrant clinic. And I was really into it, I found purpose, a focused purpose for my life, right? These are some of my medical students, we were there recently. Now, what I didn't know was that this was only a taste of what I do now. So about 2 years after I helped grow Karunia Clinic, I bumped into someone called Shin Yong. Both of us were doing some tsunami work and also post-tsunami work of the 2004 tsunami. And we became good friends. And, and one fine day, after 6 months of coffee and kaya toast, right, I mentioned in passing to Shin Yong, this is what coffee does to you, right? How about we set up a clinic for migrants? Because I noticed so many migrants and so many problems, right? Let's do it something like Karunia Clinic. And Shin Yong, my friend, got so excited, right? He really got excited. And so what we did was I organized a party, right, at my home. So what I did, I invited some 15 people to my house for this party, and I shared this crazy idea. I said, hey guys, you know what I'm going to do? So after feeding them, giving them coffee, good meal, I told them, hey, look, I'm thinking of setting up a clinic for migrant workers. What do you guys think? Now, to my disbelief, they actually said, hey, this is a great idea, And so, well, that's with all the information we did. So I went around and looked around, and we chanced upon Geylang. Now, the budget we had when I found a space in Geylang was $1,000. So in my own naivete, right, in my own simplicity, I thought, since a doctor's stethoscope, I already have one, so free lah, right? Then I can get my friends to donate the medicine, all my friends I know, and then, then maybe I get a second-hand table, second-hand aircon. That should cover it. No planning, no blueprint. So it was just a few of us wanting to make a difference to the lives of these forgotten migrant workers and doing what we know best. In our case, was medicine. But soon I realized that actually a simple GP clinic, right, just giving out medicine is not going to change the whole world, right? It's not going to make even a major difference in the life of the migrant worker, solve their problems, and worse, it may not even give me purpose, right? It's going to take a lot more. Now, one of the first patients I saw was this guy called Chen Chunliang, right? He had come to see me for a headache, and the first thing he said to me was, "Doctor, I want to kill myself." So I said, "Oh, cool, you're going to kill yourself. What do I do?" Right? Now, when a patient tells you he wants to kill himself, you have that moral right to be with him, make sure he doesn't get out of your sight. So anyway, what had happened was I found that Chen Chunliang had a head injury. He was in coma for a couple of days, and upon discharge, he was sent back to his dormitory, right? And to fend for himself. He had not eaten for 2 days, and when I saw him, he had this constant throbbing headache, and he was in this suspended blur state of mind, right? He had no purpose in life. He had nothing to live for. It was at this point I realized that a clinic, right? Even though I'm a doctor, help all these fellas, right? A simple GP clinic will not do. So soon, HealthServe then branched into starting a counselling service, casework, social assistance, a food program, legal advisory, and now we do research. I found in my journey that the search for purpose is often punctuated with surprises and excitement. So one afternoon in May 10, exactly 3 years ago, I had an appointment with a reporter who wanted to find out about Goh Wei Leong neighborhood, right? And after tea, while walking back to the clinic to meet the reporter, the security guard, Nathan, he runs to me and says, "Hey, doctor, someone fall down." I say, "Okay, I'll come check out. I'll go help." So I just walk slowly. I mean, someone fall down, right? Okay. Now, to my horror, I found a young man covered with blood, all right? A huge 10 cm gash on his head, top of his head. His skull was exposed, and then his right hand was about to come out. His shoulder was dangling, and there's this gaping wound behind. And so what I did, I saw this, I said, this is not fall down, man. So I ran back to the clinic, all right? I went in, I said, "Hey, are you a reporter? Sorry, I cannot talk to you." Then I grabbed my, the emergency bag, and I got my pair of gloves. And I rushed back, and I never felt so helpless as a doctor. Right? I was desperately trying to stop the bleeding, and I knew this man was going to collapse anytime, right? It was, the arteries all spurting out blood, and then this pool of blood was just increasing around my feet, right? And I knew I was powerless to stop this life from being snatched away right before me. I knew I was helpless. I knew that, right? So I said, "God help me, man. What do I do?" That 10 minutes before the ambulance came was the longest ever in my life. The ambulance comes and takes away this guy collapsed in the meantime. I couldn't even get a drip in. Takes this guy called Chi Bing away. Through this unexpected event, I realized that I had so little compassion for my global Singapore neighborhood. You see, it came as a rude awakening, a rude shock for me. Somehow I had mistakenly thought that, I had so much compassion for the poor in Mongolia. I felt for the little street beggar in India and in China. And I thought I had a clear purpose for helping the poor, right? And since I have this wanting to help the poor, compassion would come naturally. Actually, the lesson learned is this: be prepared to respond to the needy and injured at any time. I realized I wasn't quite prepared to be put smack right in the path of this dying man. I was forced to reflect, right? Believing and wrongly believing I had figured it all out. Because after all, I set up HealthServe already. I thought I figured it out. I was wrong. Well, thank God that this guy called Chi Bing survived. And one of the important lessons I learned in this journey is that there's always something to learn, right, from those at the margins. And that will take us to another person I met, another precious lesson, a man called Mr. Yin. Now, Yin comes from, came from Shantung, China, right? And he paid some 40,000 RMB, right, to an agent, about Singapore $8,000, right, to a Chinese employment agency, and to get a job in Singapore. So he comes to Singapore, and he was working in a lift shaft, drilling, right, lift shaft. And after 3 months, right, earning barely 20-something dollars a day, right, in the lift shaft, he lost most of his hearing, right, most of his hearing. He was thrown out, right, and then he was found wandering the streets, right, deaf, penniless, helpless, homeless, right. In the wandering streets of Goh Wei Leong, and guess what? Some street walkers found him, and they gave him food, right. But after a week, they said, "Hey, this is not sustainable," right. They said, "Hey, maybe you go over that side, across the road there. There's one clinic we know. Maybe you can get some help there," right. So he came over. Very soon, Yin Sensen, became a member of our community, right. And his hearing problems were treated by a friend, ENT friend of mine. And after a long 12-month wait, right, he finally received his workman compensation. Now, before returning to China, right, he approached me wanting to give HealthServe some money, a small percentage of what is paid, and he was being paid his compensation. And that was quite a lot of money to us. And he went round to our team members and said, "Hey, I really want to give this gift to HealthServe," right? And of course, everyone said, "Hey, no, we can't take our money. I mean, we have to serve you, right?" Then he came to me. I said, no, I can't take him. I was really certain, very adamant that I will not take the money. And then he came to me and said this, the day before he left, he said, "Doctor, I'm a member of this community, right? And unless you accept this gift, I'm not a part of the HealthServe community. And besides, if you're my brother, you must accept this gift." I accepted the gift. And receiving, I realized, doesn't come as easy as giving, right? Receiving doesn't come as easy as giving. Prior to receiving Yin as my brother, right, we've been giving, right? We're always giving. Food, water, love, hope, fun, perspective, insight, legal aid, whatever we give, we give. And we thought this was community, right? We didn't understand that community in its fullness constitutes more than just giving, right? It is only in receiving that we allowed Yin and many others after him to truly become a part of our community, a whole and generous community. So through this, Yin was affirmed as a member of our community when he was allowed to meaningfully contribute and simultaneously discover his identity and his purpose in life. When we accepted his money, or when I accepted the money, it was a major paradigm shift because we had been so accustomed to giving and helping others and never needing help, right? We felt vulnerable, right, when in receiving. But then, I never felt so liberated from the shackles of this patronizing NGO, right? So we learned that while we are usually hosts, we can also be blessed by becoming guests. Now, our ability to receive recognition, our ability to receive gives us recognition and also restores dignity, right, to those we help. Now, Yin has since returned to China, and what he did was quite amazing. He started a small barber shop, all right, with the little money he had, and we learned from him, right? So, HealthServe now, with this experience, we are much more relational, and we happily celebrate generosity by receiving, right, gifts from the people we serve. Yin has taught me a lot, right? He taught me about generosity, but he also has reminded me that our purpose and meaning in life, right, is often so vulnerable, right? Vulnerable to attack from within and from without. And in fact, purpose is most resilient, right, when found in community. And a search party with fellow human beings makes life safer, richer, and more purposeful. So while each of us, we experience the different realities of our lives, what we can do, we can come joyfully together and draw strength from our collective purpose. 6 months ago, HealthServe opened our third clinic in the Mandai dormitory. And one of the first few patients to see us is this guy called Mukul. All right, he's a young Bangladeshi construction worker who had come to Singapore in 2008. Now, as the eldest son of the family, with 2 younger siblings, Mukul was determined to make good in life, right? Having come from a desperately poor village. So when I met him and a few of us, we asked him, "So Mukul, what do you do?" He said, "Well, I work in construction. Very hard work, sir," he said. So then I asked him, "So what do you do in your free time," right? Now, I expected him to tell me that he watches video, plays cricket, or has a good smoke somewhere. But instead he tells me, "I write poetry." I nearly fell off. I said, "Okay, you write poetry." And he said, every day, hard work must I do. Work finish, I cook, eat, shower, I change clean clothes. After that, I go to my room, my bed, I write poetry. Poetry tells my heart and feeling, and my pain go away. I miss my family, especially my mother. I was really surprised. I thought of my well-educated Singaporean friends, way richer than him. Some of them even doctors who would just noir in front of the TV, right? Watching mind-numbing videos, playing games, and in their home entertainment systems, or some of them will seek out some online retail therapy or something. And then Mukul showed us a few of his poems, and I was bowled over. I felt this sense of gratefulness and gratitude for this fine young man, right? All the way from Bangladesh, a migrant worker, someone who writes so beautifully. Mukul volunteers almost every week at the HealthServe clinic in Mandai. What he does is he does translation for us. And at HealthServe, we practice something called ABCD. Right? I know Central does ABC, right? We got one more, D. Right? ABCD. Or asset-based community development. Right? Here, we believe that every individual, right, in the community, no matter how disadvantaged or vulnerable, has something to contribute back to society. Mukul and many others, and other volunteers, they do things like translation, take blood pressure. The Chinese will be teaching Mandarin, and some of them will be helping us pack medicines. And Mukul tells everyone that the life-giving highlights of his week, right, every painful week, is his time with HealthServe serving. And this is evident by the number of friends of his who came, right, both Singaporeans and Bangladeshis, who came for a book launch 10 days ago.
I want to be king. I want to be king. King of society's day labourers. King of street children. King of mother who lost her son. I want to fight against these people, taking back the food of day labourers, taking back the smiles of farmers. I want to announce war on them. Enjoying time for society's losses, I want to stand firm against them. I want to find love these far from home. I want to live alongside the helpless. I want to be king of the poor. King of the poor.
King of the poor. Thank you. So Mukul, like Yin, Sensen, and many other migrants, they shaped me. They have shaped my life. You know, I learned that offering simple hospitality, authentic friendships, and a safe place where they can experience care and healing in community, in turn points me to the more important matters in life's search for purpose. You know, in a community like HealthServe, where low-wage migrant workers share meals and life with students, doctors, and housewives, we gain not only a vision for action and the will and the courage for costly engagement, but we also find sustenance to continue when so little seems to change. You know, in community, we can also help each other stay away from the fleeting lights and shifting shadows. In community, we can be signposts of hope for many while staying on a purposeful and meaningful search. And finally, on top of that, we also get to have a big community search party. Right? So, well, thank you once again for being a part of my journey, and it's been special to share this time with you. Thank you very much.